Okay, let's try this one more time. Don't know if this is going to work, but apparently Firefox does not support screen share audio in StreamYard, despite that it does support StreamYard itself. I didn't know that. Let's try a different browser, and hopefully that will be successful. I'm going to have to discuss a grim subject today, which has to do with unaliving oneself, unaliving ideation. You apparently cannot say the word YouTube hates, or they will delete the video, or whatever the case. So I'll be careful with that. However, um, I'm going to have to cover something that is pretty grim. Fro from Norway, not my friend, the Roman Catholic Fro, the Norwegian Fro, made a statement at least or around about the 28th of January 2025. The original stream was on, let's see, I have it here. Original stream was the day prior, the 27th of January. So this is basically 27 January 2025, edited down, that I'll show. Um, when I do screen share, please tell me a one or a two. One will designate yes, you do hear audio. Two designates no, you do not. And if you do not, then I will have to make a video out of this. Oh, how I hate editing videos, but it's worth it. Fro is fine. I do want to emphasize that. I've actually spoken to Fro on my own. I'm not going to reveal what we discussed, but he is okay. He is receiving counseling. I will say it like this: when you're dealing with both law enforcement agencies and prosecutors, the question they will ask is this: if someone begins to experience thoughts that tend in the direction toward self unaliving, did you know that person had, prior to their doing that sort of behavior, they're attempting to do that behavior, they're doing that sort of behavior, or their threats to do that sort of behavior, that they in fact had those tendencies? One, and two, did you contribute to their um, did you contribute to their condition by your actions or inactions? The plain fact of the matter is, and sadly, yes, that's exactly what happened from the dude. That is exactly what you will hear Fro, in his own words, say. However, since I archived the stream the dude did on my Super Troll archive, you will hear him within about the first 25 odd minutes of the video say that he knew this, that he knew Fro had pre existing mental health conditions. He knew in detail, yet he bullied Fro anyway. Why do I care about this? Because life is God's gift to us, one, and two. Around 2020 to 2021, and then perhaps maybe 22 or 23, I experienced the same sort of behavior from the dude. I was diagnosed in 2012 with PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder. That came alongside a depression diagnosis. And that was life changing. I understand what it is like to deal with that because I had two parents who, well, for the sake of honoring my father and mother, I'll just say were never equipped to deal with a child. I brought to dude's attention many times that his virulent, angry outbursts were triggering my PTSD. Hey, I need you to stop doing that because this is giving me problems. And he did not. Am I going to talk about the donkey and the frog live with Bro Fro? No. I'm not going to talk about them, but they are just as complicit because they didn't do anything. In fact, actually, in reviewing the dude's footage before I decided to cover it on my channel, he admitted that he didn't do anything for a whole day, which is pretty damning. If you want to go after the news unit and slander him and Jordan Matson and Marston Matson, I don't know, I remember his exact name, but he's put it up there before. You're going to have a tough time with that because one, Fro is not a co-host, nor am I at the news unit's channel. Two, Fro has never shared his address and so forth, details outside of the original stream with, the news unit. And I don't speak for Dave. I can just tell you what was said and what was not said. The question is, says Stefan, hello again. When did Dude know? Dude knew about Fro's issues and abused him anyway, then tried to, in a very convoluted cult-like manner, gaslight him back into the fold, only apparently to set him off again. That's why I've archived this. So since I have a couple of people here and enough ado of me yapping, I'm going to share. If you hear something, 1 in the chat. If you do not hear something, 2. So let me try doing it now from this new browser. Hopefully that'll share or that'll do it. Appointed time. Fro is acting as a co-host. Recently, yes. But at the time this happened, and at the time that Fro made this second statement of his about unaliving, he was not. Nor did the dude know, or nor did rather the news unit know. And the news unit, I don't think necessarily knew exactly where Norwegian Fro lives. I do know that we made efforts to try to reach him independently of one another. And I do know, as it stands right now, Fro is receiving counseling. He is okay. So thank God for that. Let's share the screen. Open system settings. Let's see. Window, Chrome tab, entire screen, system preferences. Yes. Okay, let me do that. Now that. Uh-oh. Let's see. Let's try this. I may bounce out, but bear with me. Okay, here I am. Sorry, had to reset my browser. I love technology. I'm being very sarcastic. Let me get my tabs up again. That's not it. Okay, so now I got this. Let's pause that and get up YouTube. Here we go. Okay, now Now I've got what I need. So let's try this one more time. So share. Now that I've got the permissions right, let's see. I'm going to share this tab so you can see it. I'm taking. Oh, wait. No. This is not what I want. Okay, then I'll just go to basements. This is the original one from the 27th of January. I don't want to play this one because there's information Fro gives out. He technically doxes himself. I'm uninterested in, putting that information in with this, but it's out there. Don't do anything nefarious with it. Here we go. Fro's statement. Okay. So if you can hear anything, please type 1 in the chat. Type 2 if not. Let's give this a try.
This is a statement, and I am going to read it, and then I'm going to go away for a little while. I'm going to say this. My name is Frode. I've come to contact with the Praise I Am channel not long ago. With the help of Praise and Paul, aka Dude, and Olive, I built a strong testimony about Jesus Christ and became a free gracier. However, during my time there, I observed behavior that troubled me, such as cursing, threatening others, treating others poorly over issues I felt was very petty and unrelated to salvation. When I first voiced concerns and called the group a cult, I quickly retracted that statement, but I was accused of not forming my own opinion. Let me be very clear. This is entirely my statement, my perspective, and my testimony. At one point, I addressed what I saw as unnecessary drama on the Praise I Am channel, referring to certain people as drama dogs. I misspoke and I meant to say drama frogs, a term I use to describe people whose action, unintentional, cause harm to others. I regret.
Now, I know they're going to twist this, so let me just make this point before he goes into this. There is a difference between unintentionally or accidentally causing someone to do something versus intentionally making them do it or intentionally harming someone. While I'm sure the dude is going to concoct some kind of cockamamie legal defense, it is quite clear he understood what he was doing when he did what Fro will claim later in this video. That will then give some backdrop to the just absolutely bizarre stream dude did documenting Fro's latest unaliving statement. It's grim, and frankly, what's most disturbing is instead of owning up to that, dude projects the whole thing onto the news unit while trying to act as someone who not only cares but is taking a moral legal high ground, which he does not have.
How I phrased it, but it came from a place of frustration. I later had a long and calm conversation with Paul about the concerns which seemed productive to me. And this was right after I called them a cult. Paul introduced me to the news unit, Dave, warning me to not interacting with him because he was, and I quote him, a bad person. It is surprising to me that Paul, Praise, and the others saying that I am coming from this channel as a spy.
Which was a complete lie. I mean, the PIA people completely lied when they said that.
It's my place. Yeah. and that suggestion that I could not come to my own conclusions without influence from Dave. Let me make this very clear. I did not know Dave before I joined the Praise I Am channel. Furthermore, everything I'm saying here is entirely my word, as I'm not being pre-approved or influenced by anyone, including Dave. This situation is sad to me because Praise, Paul, and Olive were instrumental in me finding Jesus Christ. Yet now I feel silenced and devalued, as through my voice doesn't matter, and I am seen as a lesser. Yesterday, when I contacted dude, he called me a faggot on WhatsApp.
Okay.
I stand by the belief that Paul is a bully who treats others unkindly without justification. I have no desire to interact with people that misrepresent me, put words in my mouth, or engage in personal attacks.
This is the exact behavior I've experienced from dude many times from, let's say, about 2018, roughly, or so when we met originally, and exactly what we've seen for a year or two now, almost 3, at the dude's channel with Praise the I Am and Olive. It's also what you've seen when he has committed hate crimes against Jordan and Veckel because they're black or because they're Christians and others.
For example, I have been insulted with terms like fat, coward, and faggot. Yet I am expected to remain silent while these actions are considered as acceptable. I have been transparent of who I am, sharing my name, where I live, showing my face on screen multiple times. Again, my name is Norway. Where is the transparency of Paul?
So we have it here. This begins with dude. And this, again, like I've shown dates to January. The latest unaliving situation, which we'll now look at the dude in just a second, starts with Paul, the dude. I'm going to try to put this on about 1.5 speed so we can try to get through it. But this is pretty damning from dude. There are more than likely going to be legal repercussions because of the things that dude says. You're going to hear him say within about the first 25 to 26 minutes that A, yes, he very much did know that Fro had pre-existing conditions, and B, that he took a whole day before he actually acted on this for no other reason than he forgot. Now, let's think about that for just a second. If the news unit is this evil, evil guy, then why did dude wait a whole day before doing anything about Fro at all? That means there was a whole day gap between the unaliving message Fro gave over at News Unit's channel and dude's stream. Not because he was unavailable, unaware, or indisposed of, but he just forgot. All right, I have to share that tab. All right, present. Now let's share this. This is from my archive, share. And I might have to insert a little commentary to avoid YouTube copyright problems. I ain't going to have any on Rumble, really. But let's have a listen. The first, 5 odd minutes are really bizarre. It quite literally is dude just singing along. And I'll play a little bit of that, and then we'll skip until he actually starts engaging with this situation. Also, again, you know the drill. If you watch Veckel's channel, One, if you can hear. Two, if you do not.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow.
Lean on me.
Look, I get someone liking Lean on Me by Barry Withers. When you're doing a stream to try to highlight suicide awareness, oh dear, I said the word, unaliving awareness, might have to edit the stream. Lord willing, I won't get struck by the algorithm. The last thing I would expect that you do is start singing Lean on Me as if you care.
When you're not strong, and I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean.
So we're going to skip forward a bit. He carries on like that for about 4 minutes.
Amen. And that's a fitting song because we have a special broadcast going on. I don't know how long this is going to last. We're going to let it go as long as it has to. It's a serious matter. I have my brother Praise out there somewhere working, and my sister Olive. So they couldn't be available to do this, but they know what's going on. So Praise will probably review it on the show tonight. But here's what it is. I am ecstatic.
So Kairos, appointed time, since you're in the chat, tell me if you can make out what he's saying. I know I have it on 1.5 speed. Just let me know if that's suitable.
Ending a white flag of truce to the people over at the News Unit channel, because something just came to my attention within the last 30 minutes that far exceeds any of the contentions that we've had there.
So here's where he'll contradict himself. He's going to say, and I hate to play all 25, 26 minutes, but I have to so you can get a scope of what he says. How do you only become aware of this in the last half hour from when he did this stream on YouTube, which was yesterday? But you also waited a whole day before you did this. I believe he says that in here. Could be wrong, but we'll see. Because remember, it's Fro who said that the dude is a bully. It's Fro that said the dude started calling him slurs, inciting him, being hateful to him, as the hate preacher often does.
It is the precious soul and life of a human being. So let me get into it. We have a person, precious to God, and he lives in Norway. And now I'm just getting details as we are coming live here, and I don't know all the details. But what I do know is yesterday around 2 p.m., actually 2:20 p.m. to be precise, somebody sent me a screenshot within the last 30 minutes, and I set this up, that Fro Nygaard, Fro has given his name. I'm not doxing him. He has mentioned his name online.
So let the record go that A, Fro said his name, B, dude said Fro's name. I've not said Fro's name. Before the usual crew come around and say, you doxed Fro, no, I've actually avoided saying Fro's full name. I don't have interest in that. The only time I do that, usually, is to document these ridiculous people. That's what's demanded by the law. If you're going to file any complaints or take any legal action in most countries, they don't want usernames. They usually want real names at best, if you know them. But I did not say Fro's name, his full name at least.
Apparently made Dave the News Unit aware of his intention to unalive himself. And he also made Jordan over at that channel. So Jordan and Dave at 2:20 yesterday were made aware that this tragedy could possibly be taking place. And so it is my intention to reach out to not only the community over there at the News Unit, but the entire faith community. I don't care if you're Calvinist. I don't care if you're hyper dispensationalist. I don't care what you are, Roman Catholic, Anglican,
Interesting. They don't want to mention me by name, but they'll allude to me. Now, for the record, I didn't even know what was going on until hours and hours after the unaliving content comment on Dave's channel. I was not online dealing with that at the moment. I was dealing with other things. So by the time I found out, I really couldn't do much about it. Also, despite that Fro has in fact, again, publicized, where he lives and all that, I don't actually know that. I've purposefully not consumed that content. I have not watched that full video. All I know is his name is Fro. He is from Norway. Any other details are either what he's said to me directly or what he said in public live streams. But his actual, address, address or things like that, I don't actually know.
If you know Fro, you have an ability to reach him. I'm begging you to reach out immediately.
Okay, Dude is the one who used slurs against him. Dude now wants everyone to drop everything to reach out to Norwegian Fro, who he bullied, to put him in this kind of a state. Bizarre.
To make sure to do a welfare check on him. Now, the material that I have screenshotted off of the actual news unit's channel, and I'm going to share that here, shows that the news unit was made aware at 2:20 yesterday. But as far as I know, I could be wrong, and someone can correct me, and I will be corrected. I have no information that the news unit has made anybody aware that this is happening. He knows that the intention was made because it was posted on his channel while he was doing a live stream. And so it is my hope that the news unit or Jordan both did everything that they could to make authorities aware. I mean,
well, the other question is that, as Dude is going to say, since Dude had Fro's information long prior to Fro putting it out there, why didn't Dude do anything? Why didn't the PIA people do anything? Because they just farted around on their stream for a long time. They didn't really do too much. They don't really seem to care about Fro. There again, it was the Dude who bullied Fro per Fro's own admission. And now Dude is trying to play this ridiculous moralizing game where he is then going to say, oh my gosh, we have to put this all aside because Fro might hurt himself. Yeah, because you mistreated him so badly with full knowledge that he has evidently pre-existing conditions.
A co-host over there, so he has on the news unit channel has given all of his information. He said, here's who I am, here's my address, my phone number, here's where I live. So they have all that info.
So I'm just going to address one comment. I can't tell you why he's accessing the internet, but he has a right to access it, Kairos. And what is definite in this is that Fro, like everyone else on the internet, has a right not to be abused on the internet. Now, you can debate on whether or not it's wise for someone with pre-existing issues to engage on the internet. It may not be, it may be. I'm not going to entertain that right now. The important thing, and this is why I'm doing this stream, is to highlight the Dude knew about Fro's condition and then did this moralizing grandstand when A, he waited a day, and B, he is the reason Fro has made these unaliving type comments. What I'm asking you to do, which is probably going to be difficult for you, is recognize the whole situation is horrendous. What is the most horrendous is a hate preacher like the Dude purposefully abusing someone who has pre-existing conditions to the point where that person is considering, threatening, possibly allegedly attempting unaliving, and now is having to have some mental health counseling. I'm not going to get into the details of that, but he has come on. He came on one of Dave's very recent streams, either yesterday or today, probably today, to state briefly that he was in fact okay and that he was receiving counseling and apparently regularly receives it. I don't know the full details of that. So let's take that down off of the screen. I would ask you, appointed time, to have compassion in relation to Fro, because that is what we need to have. We need to pray for him. I'm not discouraging or encouraging his behavior. I mean, obviously, this is terrible. We don't want anything to happen to anybody. However, the Christian thing to do is to highlight that the culpability does not lie, initially at least, with Fro. The culpability lies with Mr. Hate Preacher right here.
Information being that he's a co-host over there. And so I'm hoping that they have, with that information, reached out to authorities in Norway or contacted. I'm going to put up a contact here. If you bear with me, that we have here in the United States. And they also have on this website, you can switch to Norway. I'm going to contact myself this, but anybody out there who is more familiar than me with this, please jump into the game here. Please help out. That, yeah, we have contentions. We sometimes don't like the things that we do, but life is.
And again, who's starting them? Could it be, well, I don't know, the dude?
So precious. And, you know, it can't be overstated that if you're a child of God, if you're just a decent person, you know that everything, even in the Bible, it hinges on love. It hinges on love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and all your strength, and love your neighbors as yourself. So everything that is happening, that has happened, and is the goodness of God, flows through real love. And anybody who, if you have a beating heart, you don't want somebody to hurt themselves, you know, because, you know, they're not working. I don't know what's going on with them or emotionally, mentally, but they need a professional to step in and help them, because God has a plan and purpose for everybody. And God wants everybody to come to him and walk that plan and purpose out, and God will supply everything to you. So let me upload this. Bear with me. I'm going to present it. Share screen. I haven't done this in a bit. And, of course, I have to open it first, and that's where I failed here. I've got a listener out there. That's for him. He is a precious, precious young man. And by the way, happy Valentine's to everybody out there. I mean, on such a day of love, I can't believe that, you know, we're having to do this, but it's important. You know, anybody out there who thinks it's not legit?
I mean, I can't help but find the irony in that statement, considering who's talking.
That we're lowering our flags down to truce. We're putting out a white flag. I don't really care what you think, but legitimately, that's what we're doing, because this is serious.
Okay, I'm going to try to be as nice as I possibly can. Me having compassion, says appointed time / Kairos, for the wicked has nothing to do with this. Wake up. You know, I'm really not all that concerned initially as to whether or not Fro is wicked or righteous. What I'm concerned about is that we have someone who has documented mental health issues, who has left a cult. Well, since I'm sharing my screen, a cult, the PIA /dude /Cuthbert /JackSmack77 cult. And as such, yeah, they're going to do things that, frankly, Kairos, we may not fully approve of or understand because, well, let's face it, they're disordered. They're not going to necessarily do things the way we think that they should. What is unquestionable, though, is that life is, in fact, sacred, and we do not want anyone to harm themselves. So to tell me that I am disassociating. It just makes me really question Kairos. Do you understand the overarching themes of love and compassion, particularly as they relate to the gospel, that Christ sacrifices himself vicariously for sinners, just and wicked people? And do you have therefore compassion for someone, even a wicked person, even if Fro is wicked as you allege, to, how do I want to say this, do something that no one should do? If the answer is no, then I would ask you to leave. What's this? You are using this to shame the other wicked ones. I'm documenting evidence. If you can't understand that, then I suggest you leave my chat.
I don't want to go into a lot of details, but we did a special with, I think it was 2 weeks.
So I'm going to back this up a touch, and you're going to hear him incriminate himself very badly. Let's slow this down to 1 1/4.
But it's important, I mean, on such a day of love, I can't believe that, we're having to do this, but it's important,
Okay, Kairos, with all due respect, you have a nice day. I'm not banning anybody. I don't usually make it about banning, but if you can't get it, and the same is actually true for even Guru Lady, then I'm just going to time you out, because honestly, look, I'm trying to deal with a very sensitive issue here. I understand that there are people who don't care for Norwegian Fro. I'm not trying to advocate for Norwegian Fro like he's some Superman, or like he's the best person ever, or that he is the worst person. I'm saying this is someone who has existing mental health problems, who is being harassed by a cult that is harassing many of the same people who are in my chat, including me. And the response from some of you is, well, revealing, to say the least. And Guru Lady, I get that. But here again, the people that have abused you, just to highlight this situation, the people that have abused me, the people that have abused you, Jesse Camping, to a large degree, Smokey Saint, and that's an issue I'm not even going to get on, are the same people that are going after Fro. You can dislike him, but of all people, you should understand why I would highlight this. Now, I will go on. Hello, 1000. Nice to see you. And I'm assuming that you see that. And yeah, that is one thing that is difficult. I mean, even if someone says, my name is X, I live blah, it makes it difficult to get them help. I did reach out to Fro privately, because I have the capacity to do that, to see, like, look, is he okay? I have no idea. Like, again, I don't know where Fro lives. I just know he's from Norway. I don't actually know the details that he has apparently put out there. I have not bothered, nor do I really care about those details. If you want to make it public on the internet, hey, that's your deal. However, I don't actually know, and frankly, I don't know Fro very well at all. The first time I ever interacted with him, I believe, was on Dave's channel after he'd already departed the PIA people. I might have interacted with him on a handful of other streams very, very briefly. So let me pick up with where I'm at, because dude seriously incriminates himself in the next several seconds.
Anybody out there who thinks it's not legit, that we're lowering our flags down to truce, we're putting out a white flag, I don't really care what you think, but legitimately, that's what we're doing, because this is serious. I don't want to go into a lot of details, but we did a special with, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we did a private live stream, or as you'd say, a StreamYard, a private StreamYard with Fro about this issue of harming oneself, of this, idea of whatever you'd say. I don't want to get myself unaliving yourself type thing. I don't know what exactly. I know that there's a word for it that you can't say on YouTube, and so I'm doing my best. But in the conversation that we had with Fro, we told him that we loved him. We didn't get into anything that Fro may have done or not done, that, whatever, drama stuff. We didn't get into that because that's not important when somebody is, alerting you that they're going to do something like this. And when they're alerting you of that, you got to just put everything else aside.
Which they didn't do. Their own streams bear record of that. They claim that's what they did, but their own public streams show they were more than happy to go after Fro before the original unaliving comment, during the original unaliving comment, and then subsequent to that. All while trying to spin the narrative suddenly that they care about him. Well, I mean, it's possible that they may care about him. I'm not saying they don't, because I'm not omniscient nor clairvoyant. I can't look into their brains and judge if they do or they don't, but they've been awfully inconsistent.
Drama, everything, let it go and deal with this issue.
Nice to see you.
If everybody can just bear with me. This is why it's fun to.
I never thought I would say this. I appreciate that, Stefan. I honestly don't want you to hit the like button, because really this is a very dark subject, and it's not like I like this, or I endorse this. This is some pretty grim stuff. I've had to deal with suicidal ideation before in a time in my life when I was younger, due to a largely abusive background. So I understand a thing or two about that. If the only way I would say like it is that people see it, if they're going to like or unlike it, whatever, I don't really care. It's not like that does much to the stream. I'm not in it for views, clearly. I mean, good Lord. If I wanted views, I'd just start singing into a camera, and then I'm pretty sure I could go and get a ton of views and followers. Those channels and those types of people seem to be pretty well, but that's not my concern. That's my concern, to not only bring awareness to the issue, but highlight, look, the dude just incriminated himself. Let's let him incriminate himself even further. His words, his stream.
Do things with praise and olive, because they're so much better at work and the computer and the StreamYard.
Sounds pretty groggy to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm hearing things, but I know the dude when he sounds groggy, and I know the dude when he's awake. He doesn't sound like he's very awake here.
Where is this file? So I'm going to look in the side chat, see who's here. Real second. But I got to put this up because... Oh, here we go. Great. This is how we can help people in America. So did I put that on the desktop? It's a screenshot. Download this 988. I want to get this out. This is real important. It's let me look at my phone again. So at least I can give the address or the URL out. And of course, my phone is doing a frozen thing. Okay, I thought I did a screenshot of this. Okay, it's called 988lifeline.org.
Yeah, that's great and all. But when you're the reason that a person does this, and then you turn around and try to cover your tracks by saying, Oh, here's 988 Lifeline. That ain't going to do jack. If a prosecutor sees that, he's going to be pissed.
Let me get this into the side chat. 988. Oh, I found it. There we go. Now that I've opened it, I can.
And mind you, dude just admitted he knew about Fro's conditions prior to this second unaliving incident. Fro goes back over there, and then all of a sudden, Fro's dealing with these unaliving ideation issues. I wonder what could be the commonality.
Can share it. Present. Share screen. Share screen.
Oh, and just in case the dude is listening, I hope you bring an injunction. I just can't wait. You know where I live. I cannot wait. Please bring an injunction. I can't wait. However, I don't think you have the cash like you made it out to be. You also have unclean hands, and you're going to admit to that more or less without saying it here. Good luck getting rid of an archive that's in Canada, because you can't DMCA that very easily since, well, DMCA is American law, not Canadian law. Good luck.
And of course, it didn't come up. I know why. 988 Lifeline interest share. I am going to hit the increase so we can get this bigger. I wish I had somebody in here to help me. Okay, 988lifeline.org. So this is what they do. When somebody's in trouble and they've made a statement, which he has made a statement, and I got to get that statement over to you guys here. Let me show you. Again, I'm not here to point fingers or blame. This was made public on a live stream. And I just pray to God that the people who are running that live stream, which is Dave and his friend Jordan at the news unit, pass this information along to proper authorities, or to maybe 988lifeline.org. Because what he said was not 2:22, at 1:22 p.m. yesterday. This is in the side. So he posted it in the side chat. Dave published the side chat, the private, and he published it online. And it said, "Fro, I am going to kill myself, Dave, and send it to dude. That's me. Then he will learn." Okay.
Now, as horrible as that is, and he will show that. I think he does show that within the 26 minute marker. There's a very implicating statement there. Fro says, I'm going to send it to dude. Now, I don't think he's going to do that. Fro is currently in a facility, I believe, from what I understand. He is receiving treatment. Thank God. He is okay. But if you have experienced abuse from a cult, and the first thing that you say is, I'm going to send it to dude. First of all, don't harm yourself. Don't do that. But you could definitely interpret that as, I've experienced abuse from someone. That person that I'm sending to is the abuser. I'm going to be careful to say anything further than that. However, that's pretty damning on its own. That suggests to me that there has been a lot said about the dude, or by the dude, that he don't want to admit. And what I can tell you is that, frankly, I had to stop talking to the guy largely because I informed him multiple times, even in public, hey, I have a PTSD diagnosis of my own. You are triggering that diagnosis by the way you talk to me and by the way that you are verbally abusing me. Would you please stop doing that? I understand sometimes you get upset. I get that you get upset at other people. You get animated, whatever. Just don't do that. Well, that carried on and on and on to the point where that became a big problem. A problem to where I eventually had to cut ties with dude. And like I've said many times, the behavior you're seeing on the PIA channel in public is what he was like in private, except worse.
Love you, and I will see you in heaven. So I have a screenshot of this, and you guys can see it yourself. Let's see now. Let me increase the size of this. And
Let's see if I can skip forward a touch.
Yep. Put it into me. Bill, maybe Bill can. It's like I open up my other stuff in a mic. Oh no, I'm not equipped. That's why I put up the sharing of that 988 Lifeline. Or unless you're in this field and it's your specialty and you know what to do. Oh no, I'm not equipped. That's why I put up the sharing of that 988 Lifeline. Or unless you're in this field and it's your specialty and you know what to do. Yeah, we're not equipped.
Well, that is a true statement. Like, I don't have the faculties or the facilities to deal with someone with mental health problems. Yeah, that's true. But that's also not an excuse. That does not excuse the fact that if you abuse somebody to the point where they get to that point where they're thinking about threatening to attempt harm toward themselves or others, you're still culpable for your actions. I hate to break it to you, but I don't have the facilities. No. It's just like saying, I ran someone over with my car, but they jumped out in front of me. Well, they might have jumped out in front of you, but if you had the last clear chance to stop and not run them over, but you ran them over anyway, or say you ran them over and then failed to notify EMS, failed to render any aid, yeah, you're still culpable. Similar concept.
But unfortunately, he made this statement and it's published on Dave's channel. Dave knows about this. So that's 24 hours ago. I mean, that's more than 24 hours ago. That's 1:22 p.m. yesterday. At 1:23, I would think that since Fro
Hold up a second.
is a co-host of Dave's show.
So first of all, there's two things here. One, Fro at that time was no longer a co-host at the News Unit's channel. Two, like we played in the early part of the stream, dude claims that he only became aware of this at the beginning of the stream within the last half hour to that point in the stream. He's already contradicting himself majorly.
I would think that Dave would have already contacted somebody within 60 seconds, Fro or Fro's family or some like 988 Lifeline,
And by the way, it doesn't seem to me when Fro posted that comment that from the time it was posted to the time of this stream, there was a lot of effort from the PIA people to reach out to Fro. They waited a whole day before they did anything that I'm aware about. I can't speak to Tom or Kimberly. I don't know if they did anything or not. I don't know about this Pete Bowie guy, their Vietnamese friend, or people like that. There's supposed to be, and he talks about it here, a WhatsApp chat that they're supposed to be all in. And at one point, I guess Fro was in too. Tucker the Baptist talked about that. I don't know what's in there. I don't know if potentially there was that, right? But they waited quite a period of time before they did anything about it. And their behavior on their stream that they did the day of this same stream where they responded on the 15th, which is like today, they didn't do anything. Also, that stream carried on for hours and hours and hours. They had ample opportunity to do something. They didn't do it. Then they attempt to gaslight, blame shift, redirect to Jordan and Dave at the news unit. Yeah, no. You might ask me, well, why is this relevant? If a witness gives 4 or 5 different statements at the scene, say, of a car wreck as to what they witnessed, they're no longer a credible witness. They just contradicted themselves 4 or 5 times. Dude claims he only learned about it a half hour ago in the beginning of the stream, and then you just heard him say that this happened yesterday. So that means there's a huge gap from the time he acted to the time that he acted versus the unaliving comments, 1 and 2. To try to blame Jordan and Dave is amazing. They, as far as I'm aware, attempted to do all that they could. But frankly, dude apparently didn't care. He didn't learn about it for a whole day.
Google it, look it up. When somebody's making these statements that they're going to harm themselves in some way, Dave was made aware.
This is called covering your ass and trying to rewrite a narrative. It don't work like that. Not when you have the actual footage and the actual stream out there. It's not like Dave's stream ain't up there. It still is.
And so is Jordan. And, if I can give you this screenshot here, I'll show you. And so if there's anybody in their community who knows Fro, call him immediately. I'm just finding out about this, right? If I would have found out about this yesterday, I would have done something about this yesterday.
Aha. So here it is again. He didn't know yesterday. I'm only learning about this 30 minutes ago. I'm only learning about this today, he says. This is the same guy, according to Fro, who originally mistreated him. I've already played that to the point where he was referring to him with slurs like faggot and other hateful language. Yeah. I don't want to be vulgar, but this is very insincere. The polite way to say it is you're screwed. You cannot rewrite a narrative and say, oh, this is not about drama, when you were the one, as a hate preacher from a public figure platform with 15,500 followers, who abused this guy to the point where he becomes suicidal, self-harm, whatever, and then it happens again because of you. Now, there might be some exculpatory factors, like maybe something happened to Fro that none of us know about, which could have triggered him. Possible. We have to account for that. But the dude has majorly contradicted himself. That's not going to end well for dude.
But, I didn't. So I'm just doing what I can do as a human being. I would have done something about this yesterday. So if there's anybody in their community who knows Fro, call him immediately. I'm just finding out about this, right? If I would have found out about this yesterday, I would have done something about this yesterday. But
so here again, he didn't know. He waited a whole day before anything, and he's claiming he didn't know. Yet, seems to me that people may have known from the PIA channel on the 14th when Fro made the unaliving comments.
I didn't. So I'm just doing what I can do as a human being. Let me see if I can stop sharing this. Okay, again, 988lifeline.org. You can go there. You can put in Norway. They can tell you how to contact whoever. But, that's why I'm lowering the flags with that community over there, because Fro gave out all his personal information on videos over there.
And who is the one who began inciting hatred and attacking that community, as he calls the news unit? Who is the one that drew up Dave's channel as a whole community of people and said that they were, doing all kinds of things? Well, the guy who's been doing that for years is right here.
His name, his address, his phone number, everything. And I was on WhatsApp. I was connected to Fro, but it was messing up my messaging and messing up things on my phone. So I got off of WhatsApp maybe, I don't know, a week ago. But before I came online and I knew I was going to do this, I reinstalled WhatsApp.
Okay, so let's just think about this for a minute. Prosecutor's going to look at that. Prosecutor's going to say, okay, but you had contact with people who were on WhatsApp, and they evidently had the opportunity. No, they had the opportunity to do something, and either they didn't do anything or they did very minimal. Prosecutor is going to be very, very angry.
And tried to contact Fro. I tried to check on them, and I'm not having
a whole day later
any luck. I don't know if he changed his WhatsApp since then.
I wonder, why would he possibly change his information so a hate preacher cannot contact him after he just said, you saw it from the clip from Basement's channel, that Fro directly said he didn't want to have anything to do with these guys. I realize he did later go to talk to them between the 25th of January to now, but that's not uncommon in cults. However, if someone states, I don't want to talk to you, and then he changes his contact information so you can't get a hold of him, that means you've fulfilled the basics of harassment. You could be looking at some pretty serious problems.
But let's see now. Stop sharing that. Let me get to this. Present this new thing. Share screen. Share screen.
We'll have to bear for a few more minutes before I come to the point that I wanted to get to. Let me put it back to 125.
That's tough. So I'm trying to.
How do I do that again?
Oh, here we go. Here's the window. That'll work. Okay, so this is a screenshot of Dave's. Let's see. So you can see the red dot there.
Well, if you're hoping to provide a timestamp, that's basically an illegible screenshot. I can't even see what the timestamp would be.
I don't know if you guys can, how well you can read this. Can you guys read on there? It says Fro 122. This is Dave published this on a video called Holy Bible AKGV Only Study in Study Hall Exodus 16 plus. So this was I don't know. I don't know. You have to look it up on his channel. And this, he published the StreamYard, and it says right there, I am going to kill myself, Dave, and send it to Jude. Then he will learn. Love you, and I will see you in heaven. Now, maybe this is all a big joke, but I don't take these things lightly.
Yet it took him a whole day to act. Yet he only learned about it from the beginning of his stream a half hour or so earlier. Yet he's trying to blame the news unit. To use an analogy, it's like catching a child with his hand in the cookie jar. Then you ask the kid, hey, why'd you grab a cookie out of the cookie jar? I didn't grab a cookie out of the cookie jar. What's that you're holding on to with your other hand? Looks a lot like a cookie. I'm not holding on to a cookie. You holding on to a cookie? Yeah. Come on now. This is the issue here. I'm not saying whether or not I like or dislike Fro. Honestly, I don't have an opinion in that direction either way. Apparently, he's got some moderate to severe mental health problems, enough so much that he has to have a counselor and regularly receives counseling. Good for him. I'm glad he is, honestly. People with mental health issues need that. If they need it, then I'm glad that they can receive it. Thank God for that. However, when you, as a hate preacher using a public platform with as many followers, 30,000 plus on Instagram and 15,500 plus on YouTube, as Dude/PIA have, create a whole campaign and attack people who then become unalive, or they get to a state where that's the mindset, where they're thinking about that, attempting that, threatening it. You do all kind of fake reconciliations, and then it happens again. You're culpable, not them. You're culpable. You did that.
I don't take them as a joke.
You don't. It took a lot of refraining to listen to this, and there's a reason why I listened to it. Took about an hour or two, and then thought, yeah, am I going to do this? I don't know. But this is why I did this. He's saying he doesn't take this as a joke, but he's already contradicted himself 4, 5, 6 times.
If somebody is saying that they're going to unalive themselves, I got to take it serious. Can you guys see that? And I also can't take it lightly, because at the Praise I Am channel, we had a long bearing our souls talk with Fro. And I'm not going to reveal the things that he shared, because there's a lot of medical information and there's a lot of private information, very sensitive.
Oh, a lot of medical information. Oh, okay. Do enlighten us, Mr. Hate Preacher.
Information that he shared. But I will tell you that, he's in a real struggle. He sees professionals regularly. That's why I'm taking this seriously. And the fact that he sees these professionals regularly tells me, that this is nothing to take lightly. So
you didn't just demonstrate knowledge, you demonstrate understanding. It's not just that that he is receiving mental health care from qualified mental health professionals, but that you understand why and the severity of it. Yet, according to Fro, you were also verbally abusing him, throwing slurs and epithets at him, just like I experienced for years, and just like we've seen for the longest time, 2-3 years now, at the PIA channel, ever since Dude wormed his way in there. After he then, in this stream, contradicts himself 4 or 5 times, if not more. So he knew prior to this, did it anyway, and then tries to reframe it as though Dave and Jordan are the ones responsible. I'm going to replay this, not the whole thing. I'm going to go back to where he admits this, just to let that sink in. Could Dude be one of the most amoral people in the cults, that he's trying to reframe this as a news unit thing, when he's the reason, according to Fro, that this is happening? The unaliving comments are happening. And let me tell you, like I've said before, I knew this guy way back in about 2018, 2019 or so, about a year or so after I met the original hate preachers in this group, the Korean and the Englishman, shall we say. And over time, the abuse that you see now at the PIA channel is what I was hearing in private. Well, he just brought that fully out in the open. So let's back this up. I want you to pay close attention. Let's go back about 2 or 3 of these.
Going to reveal the things that he certainly, I also can't take it lightly because at the Praise I Am channel, we had a long bearing our souls talk with Fro. And I'm not going to reveal the things that he shared because there's a lot of medical information
Uh-huh.
and there's a lot of private information, very sensitive information that he shared. But I will tell you that, you know, he's in a real struggle. He sees professionals
Knowledge.
regularly. That's why I'm taking this seriously. And the fact that he sees these professionals regularly tells me, you know, that this is nothing to take lightly.
And there's your understanding. Now, dude, I'm sure he's going to spin this in the future as a news unit thing. However, from his own mouth, he knew Fro had mental health problems. He knew Fro was receiving counseling. And he knew that Fro had issues. Didn't stop him from abusing him anyway. And it doesn't do jack all about the news unit, Jordan, or a Great Dane dog.
So, you know, there it is. Can you guys give me some feedback out there in the chat, in the comments? Can you see that? Oh, news unit. Yeah, there you go. Well, then I'm guessing you didn't report this in a timely manner. Did you report at 1:22 yesterday, news unit, that somebody is threatening something to harm themselves at your channel?
Okay, I think I can safely stop it here. This is about where I wanted to get. Dude waited a whole day before acting. Dude scrambled to create a narrative that Dave didn't act. He's even saying it here, trying to give more or less a timestamp. After admitting long prior to this, he knew about Fro's mental health problems. And he, according to Fro, began issuing out slurs and other abusive language, harassment, that kind of behavior that we've seen for so long, to Fro to put him in a state where he has this unalive issue. And then it manifests again on Valentine's Day. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how else to say this. I don't want to use the language that the world does. You're screwed. And the fact that dude then blame shifts this onto other people that he dislikes, while also trying to create the illusion that because he so much cares about someone, he clearly doesn't have any issue abusing and mistreating, that he's then going to lower the flags for the slander campaign he started. You can't make this up. This is one of the most bizarre things I've ever beheld. And you might ask me, well, why? Why did you cover this? So I'm going to stop sharing here. Why cover this? Well, the reason is, honestly, and I'm glad to see Yeshua's Salvation's here. They blame me and Jared, and liars, they said he's alive to me and Jared, that's why that's a problem. They're going around, dude is going around, Praise is going around, Olive's going around, and conceivably others from that channel, blaming this on other people. Despite that, the dude out of his own mouth admits he was the one who abused Fro from Norway, that he knew prior to that about Fro from Norway's mental health issues. So again, we've got prior knowledge, we've got motive. Like, I don't know how to say this, but I really am glad I'm not the dude, because you're absolutely screwed. Good job, Hate Preacher. Before I end this, you know, I'm not going to go into great detail about what I've experienced in the past, but I can tell you, I understand probably better than most what Fro has experienced, because before the dude came to the PIA channel, This was way back about 3-4 years ago when he was privately telling me how hot he thought Olive was. Barf. But Olive was crazy. His own words, not mine. That at that time he had become so out of control and abusive that he hollered and screamed at me to the point where I had to decide, no, we have to cut this off, because I've asked you now for probably like a year or two straight. Look, I'm not mad. You can't talk to me like that. You're giving me issues. You're starting to trigger my PTSD problems. He didn't care. On the one hand, it was either a half-hearted apology or, oh, battery's really low. Hold on a second. Let me mute myself. I'll plug. Okay, I'm good now. Let me just plug in this power cable and we should be good. All right. So that'll be up for authorities to determine. But my point, Slim Jim, is that I never want to hear anything about morality again from these people, considering that A, dude contradicted himself multiple times. B, he had prior knowledge. C, according to the person making the unaliving comments, he knew. Dude knew that Fro had these issues. Fro claims it was dude doing this. Now, yeah, I understand there's a bit of hearsay here, but I never thought I'd see the day when someone's moralizing over a topic like self-harm to the point where they're trying to make it the other person's problem, the other party's problem. I guess let this be a cautionary tale. Of course, that stream ain't going anywhere. I ain't taking that down for nothing and nobody. That's evidence now. I am more or less out of time. I mean, pretty much, but if ever you were doubting it, you have it now. You know, I'm pretty much out of time. Pray for Fro. I do want to emphasize, I have talked to him independently. I will not disclose the details of our conversation. I will not. I could. Fro has given me permission to do that, but I will, out of respect to him, not do that. I will say he is okay. I will say he is receiving treatment. But in plain point of fact, dude did this. It's dude. It's the hate preacher that's to blame. Out of his own mouth, he admitted it. And we've already seen what dude is like. Even if you mildly disagree with him, or perhaps you are not of his theological persuasion, so then he will incite the chat at his channel and his co-hosts to virulently attack you, to make AI videos trying to call you a pedophile, dox you, all this kinds of stuff. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, if these people are Christians, if that's what you really believe, you're living in a fairy tale land. I don't know what else to tell you. Y'all have a lovely day. And let me also state that, A, like I've said before, I'm not a legal professional. I'm not speaking as one. I'm not trying to present myself as such. B, the Super Troll Archive is a public repository. If you are a victim, if you are contemplating, therefore taking legal action, feel free to use it. And C, watch out for cults and hate preachers, because unfortunately, what you are witnessing, no matter whether or not you love Fro, hate Fro, love the dude, hate the dude, Kimberly or Tom, No matter whether you love or hate the news unit, what you are witnessing flat out is cult abuse, and it can have, well, serious consequences. Y'all take care. Pray for Fro. He is fine. Take care.